All right, let's open the file. What we have here is a clinical examination, a profound and frankly unsettling diagnosis of the human condition. It plays out like a tragedy in 5 acts, an investigation into a state of being known as the logic of zero. Our examination begins now.
And right from the start, we get the core premise of this whole analysis. The argument is that our sense of self, our ego, isn't a source of strength at all. No, it's actually a pathology. It's a sickness that locks us into a state of decay, one that requires a pretty radical, almost surgical intervention. So, our tragedy begins. Act 1. This is where the stage is set, but we're not in some cozy home or a thriving community. We're dropping right into a deeply diseased environment. Now, think about that for a second. A crime scene. The crime here isn't murder or theft, it's a crime of spiritual decay. The city is presented as this architecture of stagnation, a giant stage where collective sickness just plays out under a constant neon glow. And here's the official diagnosis for that sickness, a fever of the soul. It describes a society where, really, everyone is just performing. They're acting out these empty, hollow rituals, manufacturing meaning day in and day out. And for what? For an audience that isn't even there? It's a performance that's just masking a deep, profound emptiness. Let's move on to Act 2, because this is where the investigation zooms in. We go from the collective sickness of the city to the individual subject, the patient who is really at the heart of this illness. And here is our patient. Meet the stargazer. This is the archetype for, modern humanity in this view. It's someone so terrified of the void, so scared of meaninglessness, that they construct this entire, elaborate performance of purpose, constantly looking up to an indifferent sky, just hoping for some kind of validation that's never going to come. And this is brilliant because it illustrates the core conflict, right? The stargazer's life is a total paradox. On the outside, it's this big show of meaning, of virtue, of having it all figured out. But on the inside, there's a profound psychic decay, a rot that comes from living a life that just isn't authentic. So the diagnosis is clear. And now, in Act 3, the procedure begins. And let me tell you, this is not gentle therapy. This is a cold, precise, and agonizing clinical intervention. It's designed to cut right to the core of this terminal consciousness. The procedure is called the Wild Hunt, and it's a systematic, 3-step process designed to just completely dismantle the patient's false reality. First, you isolate them. Then, you absolutely shatter their comforting lies. And finally, you administer judgment, a direct confrontation with the truth of their condition. The first tool used in this procedure is symbolic, but incredibly powerful. The ebony clock tower. It literally weaponizes time itself. It takes the comfort of the everyday and twists it into a constant, unbearable, ticking reminder of mortality. It strips away the illusion that we have all the time in the world. And under that pressure, the facade starts to crack. The second instrument, it turns the pressure inward. The verdant dragon is basically a forced self-confrontation. It's like a mirror that doesn't show you what you want to see, but instead reflects everything you've suppressed, every single failure, every compromise, every lie you've told yourself. It is, by all accounts, excruciating, but absolutely necessary for the procedure. Now, here's the crucial part. This destruction, this tearing down, it's not the end goal. Act 4 shows us the real purpose, to clear the way for a radical transformation. It's about forging something new in the wreckage of the old self. And this transformation follows a path laid out by Nietzsche. First, the spirit becomes a camel, learning to bear the harsh, unfiltered truth of existence without illusions. Then, having endured that, it becomes a lion, finding the strength to rebel, to say no, and to destroy the false values it used to serve. And then finally, from that cleared ground, it emerges as a child, innocent, creative, and ready to create its own new meaning right from the void. And that brings us to the final act. After all the agony, the destruction, the transformation, the procedure doesn't end with a sentence. It culminates in a single, defining, existential choice. The entire ordeal, the wild hunt, the confrontation with the abyss, it was all a crucible. It was designed to burn away everything that was false, leaving only the essential core of the person. And to that core, a gift is offered, the crimson gift of choice. And here it is, the choice. On one side, you have the logic of zero. This is a passive return to the peace of the inanimate, the grand silence.
It's the end of all struggle, all friction. On the other side, the logic of one. This means embracing the friction, the difficulty of existence, in order to become truly sovereign, to actively create your own reality. It's not the end of the disease, no, but it is the beginning of the cure. And that's where this clinical file ends. It doesn't give us the patient's final decision. It just leaves us with this question. After being completely unmade, after staring right into the void, can a person truly be reborn? Is it actually possible to transform from a performing stargazer into the master of your own world? That is the haunting question this analysis leaves us to ponder.